Hey everybody, this is Burnaflick. We are joined here today with our regular three, and we have recurring guest Thomas with us. Welcome,
What's
Thomas.
up? It's good to be back.
It's good to have you
It's
back.
good to have you. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It'd be a good time.
It's it feels more complete when we have more people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like having more. I think 5 is definitely the max I'd like to go at any given time.
5 is actually the actual max that this device can support. So like that, it lines up nicely.
Or one day we can do 100 people.
100 people.
100 people.
Yeah.
That'd be awful.
We'll just have 25 people for one mic, and then we'll just everyone talk into the mic at the same time.
But they say the exact same things or all different ramblings.
Yeah, we'll rehearse it. It'll be like a choir.
Ooh,
It'll be like a podcast choir.
sounds good to
But
me.
instead of singing, we're just talking about how shitty movies are or how great movies are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the movie we're talking about today is Before Sunrise. I picked this just because it is in the spirit of Valentine's Day, and this movie is, in fact, a romantic movie. I don't think it'd be qualified as a romantic comedy or a romantic... it's just straight up romantic movie. There's no frills about it.
It's just a romance.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Through and through.
So just quick synopsis. This movie, it stars Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. And basically, they meet on a train, and Ethan Hawke basically approaches Julie Delpy's character, Celine, and says, "Hey, we should hang out." And then that's the movie.
That's it. It sounds so
Yeah,
thin, but they broaden it up so well.
yeah.
Made
yeah.
it nice and thick.
They thickened it.
Ooh, yeah. Added some syrup in there.
Thick like those German and French accents.
So I first watched this movie I think in high school. And yeah, and then I realized, oh my god, romantic movies can be really, really good. Cuz up until then, like, I always kind of brushed off romantic movies as like stupid and cliche, and then this kind of proved me wrong on that front. I know, Zach, you've seen this before.
Yeah, I watched it
Yeah.
from your proposal to you're the one who told me to watch it. You said you have to watch this movie.
Yeah. This is on deployment.
It was on
by the way,
deployment
yeah.
about 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now.
It is over 2
It
years.
is over
'cause-
2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And wow, real fast. And then I was watching it in my rack alone, and then this is during times of feels. I was in my feels a lot in deployments every now and then.
We all were.
And then I watched this movie alone, and at the end, I was just like, oh man, this hurts. It was so nice. Like, of course, it's like the movie. It doesn't end bad. It ends bad subjectively, I guess.
Yeah.
Or objectively, for some people, and for me, it ended good. But because of how it ended in that good way, it made me feel terrible. You know,
It was good because it hurt so bad.
because if I was in that position, I'd be like, fuck my life in my home. I'm gonna go with you. Chilling in Europe. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Jonah and Thomas, I don't think you guys have seen this one
Nope.
before.
First
No.
time.
Yep.
Want to talk about, like, what'd you guys expect, first of all?
I had no expectations. I didn't look up anything about it until probably 9 o'clock this morning when I woke up,
Hell yeah.
and then I watched it. I liked it. I thought it was going to be like a rom-com, and
Okay.
it turned out to not be that. I was kind of pleasantly surprised by that.
Good.
So,
Wonderful.
I don't think I really knew what I was gonna walk into. I knew it was gonna be a romance.
Yeah.
And I think Ethan Hawke for me is like usually hit or miss, and then Julie Delpy. I don't think I've seen her in another movie, and for whatever reason, I thought she looked a lot like oh man, the girl from Friends.
Oh, like Phoebe.
Oh,
Phoebe from Friends.
God, what's her
like a
name?
blonde French Phoebe.
Yeah.
Is Phoebe blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
So
Her
I
name is it's in my tongue.
Lisa Kudrow.
Kudrow.
Oh
Lisa
yeah,
Kudrow,
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I watched this with Ciara, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we liked it. but also thought it was extremely like dated
Mm.
because I mean, I obviously it was like back in what 95 this was made,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and if you walked up to a stranger on the train today and just said, "Hey, you want to go hang out?" I know your stop's like not here, but
You're gonna get tased.
But
yeah.
I think they pulled it off decently. There's a little
Yeah.
bit of awkwardness. I would agree with like that initial encounter, and especially when you kind of can see where the movie's going, like he's gonna get off with her, and you're just kind of seeing how it plays out. I don't know. I think they developed enough of a rapport to not make it straight up weird. Do you guys wanna listen to that real quick? Just see how Ethan Hawke pulls that off.
Yeah.
So I believe that would be
What?
Come on, it'll be fun.
What would we do?
I don't know. All I know is I have to catch an Austrian Airlines flight tomorrow morning at 9:30, and I don't really have enough money for a hotel, so I was just gonna walk around. And it'd be a lot more fun if you came with me. And if I turn out to be some kind of psycho, you just get on the next train. All right. Think of it like this. Jump ahead 10, 20 years, okay? And you're married. And only your marriage doesn't have that same energy that it used to have. You start to blame your husband. You start to think about all those guys you've met in your life and what might have happened if you picked up with one of them, right? Well, I'm one of those guys. That's me. So think of this as time travel from then to now. To find out what you're missing out on. See, what this really could be is a gigantic favor to both you and your future husband to find out that you're not missing out on anything. I'm just as big a loser as he is, totally unmotivated, totally boring, and you made the right choice and you're really happy.
Let me get my bag.
It's stuff like that. It's the energy. Energy. It's like, you know what?
I think Ethan Hawke
coming with
really
me.
sells it.
He sells it.
He really sells it.
It feels like there's scenes like that in the movie
Yeah.
where it doesn't seem like they're acting. It seems like legitimately like
Yeah.
they're people, and they're somehow just like, hey, let's put a camera on them.
Yeah, yeah. I think in the very beginning, there's a little bit of that, like, oh, you can tell, like, we're in a movie, like, this is acting, but then, I don't know, I can't really draw the line where it happens, but somewhere along the way, it just, like, slides right into reality, like, it feels real.
Yeah.
I think that happened when they were on the like the trolley car. They
Oh,
were just sitting at the back of the trolley car.
yeah.
Or there's a scene where it cuts. It's the end of one scene where they cut to
Yeah.
another one where they're walking past a carousel,
Yeah.
a merry-go-round, and he jumps onto it and tries to grab her, and she's
Oh,
laughing.
yeah.
That was real. I have a feeling.
There's a lot of small things that happen that kind of like add
Yeah.
to the realism. But this his proposal, I think like maybe if he had like played the scene a bit differently, he might have come off as I don't know, a little bit too pushy, a little bit creepy. I don't know. What did Ciara have a opinion on this pitch?
No, she thought it was pretty cute. Like the
Yeah.
whole movie was good, was like cute, and but I think the biggest thing was like, I think the time the time we're in now. I think that's what I
okay.
think she couldn't get over.
Yeah.
Because like even with like our chemistry, if I was just some random dude
Mm-hmm.
and I was wooing her on the train, I don't think she would just be like, "Oh yeah, sure. Let me miss my next train to,
Mm.
wherever."
Do you
Do you think like the 90s, everyone says the 90s, like the mid to late 90s up until like the turn of the century at 2000, 2001 with 9/11. Like before that time, everyone says it was like this magical time of optimism. Like Bill Clinton was president, he was getting blowjobs under his Oval Office.
while playing the saxophone?
The country's we were for the first time not in debt. Like the country was in a really strange place where everyone seemed optimistic. Assuming you were white and middle class. But like, still, like that's nowadays. There really isn't that kind of atmosphere.
Well, you remember being able to go out with your friends, and then you don't come home until the lights come on or outside.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I would walk like growing up. I would just run around the
Yeah.
neighborhood barefoot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear shoes.
Yeah.
You know,
Like Donnie Thornberry.
yeah.
But no one will question it.
Nobody would care. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're home, for dinner or before the
Yeah.
lights come on,
Yeah.
you're chilling. And actually, what's weird is
Yeah.
we think of now it's 2023. We think of 1990s as like 10 years ago, 10 years ago, but it's
Yeah.
23 years ago.
Yeah.
We think of the 80s as like 40 years ago, but it wasn't really that far away.
Mm-hmm.
And we changed our chemistry up on not chemistry, but we changed the way we live up,
Yeah.
for safe measures. But what you're talking about there, that differences in the time, it also could be the factor of how American people are or American women are compared to American or European women. They dress
Oh.
different.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's one perspective.
So I feel like if this was a train anywhere, probably in America today, everybody would be on their phone.
Subway in New York City.
They're just looking down at their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't look that clean. It would look really dirty. The
Yeah.
seats
Hey,
missing.
I do want to say these trains are like really nice. Like the carts and like the doors, like they seem really like nice, well maintained like trains.
They don't have a homeless dude doing backflips somewhere.
yeah. Yeah, that is true. And there's nobody like filming a fight yelling "World Star" like in the last cart or whatever. Yeah, these European trains, they just built different, I guess.
Yeah, literally.
The best thing about this movie is dialogue. I think that's obviously what it's meant for.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
The dialogue in this is
The
great.
movie lives and dies by its dialogue here.
And it goes to show you that you don't need, a lot of money. You just need a good camera, good
Yeah.
actors, and good writing. And
Yeah.
it goes down to its bare roots of how movies and films are written.
Yeah.
It's great. Because good dialogue, we talk about my continuum with good acting, good dialogue, good music. Has all three, I think.
Yeah. So like the music, all the music, like I'd say like 90% of the music in this movie, it's just music that's happening on the
Around,
street.
yeah.
Yes.
Like there's not a lot of like background actual music. I think near the end there's like a little bit of that, but most of it is just in the scene. Yeah.
There's in the beginning,
Yeah.
I think it was in the train car.
Uh-huh.
He talked about how he wanted to make. He had an idea for a TV show
Oh.
of following around, 24 hours a day. I think it was like 100 people, I think, or 365 people
365.
every day, one day person every year, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And she's like, would it be really boring? Like,
Yeah.
you wake up one morning, the guy brushing his teeth, and then go to the 3-minute sex scene where he falls asleep right after. And I just immediately eluded that idea for the TV episode for
Mhm.
this movie. The 24 hours of them together, living their life,
Yeah.
just living it up to where
That's-
it ends for the 3-minute
yeah.
sex scene, essentially.
It's
And
a little bit generous on that 3 minutes.
Yeah. they pretty much foreshadowed his
Mhm.
idea into this movie, showing
Yeah.
how something so boring could really be beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's really cool. That's exactly it. I think a lot of people would call that a microcosm. Like what he explained is the microcosm for the entire movie.
You learn something new every day, I guess.
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
I really like the very end when they're just showing places that they were. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
And like on like a surface level it's just a place, but then and like the movie doesn't do anything else. It just shows you the picture and then your brain fills in the rest. Like, oh, this is where they were talking about this, or this is where they were like sitting down and like they were talking about this. And I think that also plays into what you're saying with like the boringness. Like, oh, that's just a chair, or like that's just a park bench. It's an everyday normal thing, but then there is beauty in that because two people like sat here and they experienced something really cool.
That park bench
Yeah.
has a story now.
Yeah, that park bench does have a story.
The empty bottle of wine and the 2 wine glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Park.
little old lady walking across it. Yeah,
even the train car itself.
train
Yeah.
car too.
Maybe it's just a magic seats or
Yeah.
something that struck something beautiful.
Mhm.
Even for the time itself. I don't know
you-
how short it was.
Do you guys know the story behind this story?
No.
No.
Okay, so I learned it just because I read it off the wiki, and I think there was a podcast about this that I listened to a while back. It wasn't the Unspool podcast. I think it was a podcast called The Canon, which Amy Nicholson is also a part of. Paul Scheer is not a part of that one. Anyway, they talk about this movie, and they said that the director, Richard Linklater, he actually met a woman in Philly, and they spent the day together, just like this. And it happened in 1989. And he wrote this movie because of that experience. That's where it came from. Turns out the woman that he met with and spent the entire day with, that inspired this whole ass movie, and then the next two movies, she actually died in a motorcycle accident in like 93. So
Oh my god.
yeah. He never got to reconnect with her. And the movie came out like before she was able, because she died. And the third movie of this trilogy is actually dedicated in her memory. I don't remember her name, but by the way, there's three of these.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Before series.
Have you seen the other two?
I have. They're really good,
They're-
and it very organically like chronicles their relationship, and the Before Sunrise came out in 95. The next one, it's called Before Sunset. That comes out 9 years later,
Oh wow.
and it's set 9 years later.
Yep.
And the same two characters have aged 9 years in real life and in movie time. And then they put out another movie called Before Midnight, also 9 years later. So this is 27 years of a relationship, essentially.
Did you notice in
Or actually 18.
18,
years,
yeah. If you notice, I mean, you guys haven't seen the rest of the movies, it's fine.
Yeah.
But between us and other people who ever watched this,
Mhm.
the third movie loops back to things said in the first movie.
I know. It really does. I mean, they all kind of loop back.
They all come along
They
with
all
this,
kind of loop
with
back,
this,
but
but this one is a loop back prediction.
what do you mean?
If you want to talk about it, how in the first movie, in Before Sunrise,
Yeah.
they talk about how one day you're just going to get you're gonna start getting annoyed with each other because of how much.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know them.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
And the
you're
third
right.
one, they
You don't have to
We're
go
going-
into too
yeah.
much detail, but okay.
anyway, yeah. Anyway, we'll go back. We'll get past
Just tell me,
That's-
does it end happy or sad?
It ends real.
it. Ends
It
real.
ends very
It
real.
ends real?
It's actually
Okay, so
it's,
sad.
It's ambiguous.
I'm not going to say that.
It's ambiguous.
It leaves it open to interpretation.
Yeah,
Kind of like
there
how
you go.
this movie leaves it open to interpretation. Do you think, let me ask you guys this. Do you think they meet up in 6 months?
No.
Okay, Jonah?
All right.
Ciara started watching the first half of Before Sunset.
Oh, really?
Oh, come on.
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Okay.
But,
Just tell me. I need to know.
Well, a second movie exists, so maybe you
I
could-
think
But
the
9
third-
years later.
They're
For the
all
third
three
movie-
of them. They're on HBO if you want to
Yeah.
watch them.
Oh, they're all on HBO?
All three.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the third movie, she's gonna drive a knife straight through Ethan Hawke's heart. She's tired of playing around.
She turns into
Yeah.
just into like
Hey,
Blade or something.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you guys this. I really liked how equal this movie was in showing her perspective and his perspective. But I personally do feel that this movie is more so from Ethan Hawke's perspective. I think the movie is kind of built that way, but like that might just be me saying that because of like my personal experiences. What did you guys think?
That makes sense because of how you said the director and writer
Yeah.
wrote it from his perspective anyway.
Yeah.
So of course it makes it easier to write in that way.
Mhm.
So if that's probably exactly what it is.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I mean to be honest, I think I saw it from. I don't think I really saw it any sort of way.
Okay.
Because I mean, it started out with the French Lisa Kudrow, and then the show with Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, it was just kind of like the both of them going through together up until the very end.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I agree with Jonah on this. there wasn't really like any internal dialogue for either of them.
Yeah.
It was just both of them like having conversation the entire time.
Yeah,
So I don't think it was really in either one of their perspectives.
it's true.
heavily.
You're right. That actually, let you finish speaking. I feel bad. I keep interrupting. Is that
Oh
it?
no, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. You're right. The movie is just people. They meet up and then they talk and they build feelings for each other,
Mhm.
and that's it. And that's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to have any other internal, meaning behind it.
No car chases.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No, no
Vendettas.
drugs, no vendettas, no sex. Oh, except that actually, technically, there is no sex
Technically.
Shown on screen, yeah.
shown on
Yeah,
screen.
that's true. Yeah.
There is some nudity.
Is
Pretty
there?
sure.
No, there isn't.
No.
No.
Pretty sure there is.
Maybe
No.
your mind just put it in.
Yeah.
Maybe it did.
There,
point was
like
a
in
long
the in the
time.
park.
Yeah,
Just out there in the open.
I could have sworn.
There probably was. Open to imagination.
Open to imagination.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Deployment was a long time. All right.
It's kind of like me and Quick and the Dead and how I thought.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, Sharon Stone got
Sharon
cheeks.
Stone definitely getting cheeks with 16, 15, 14, 13-year-old Leo. How old is he really? How old is he?
He was like 18.
He's like 12 years old, right?
Oh.
Yeah, he's like 10-year-old Leo, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but it doesn't need all those extra things to make a movie. And
Mhm.
this is great. It just needs what the movie is. It just
Yeah.
needs romance and dialogue.
I was when I first watched this movie, I was very taken by their discussions are not. They have pretty substantial discussions.
Yeah.
About like life and like philosophical shit. I was pretty impressed with like how deep they went with it, and like for the most part, it didn't really come off as like boring.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot for some 23-year-olds to have that kind of profound ideas of the world,
Yeah,
right? Oh, that makes sense. I mean,
Mm.
at 23 years old, I would think that I had these type of, thoughts.
yeah.
And maybe I'm just
It
not
holds
able
up though. I really do feel like it holds up, and the way they talk to each other about it, like it doesn't seem like they're trying to like quote unquote impress the other with like how deep they are. They're just like just kind of being honest with each other, which is really cool. And I think most of us as like people who've watched movies like throughout our lives, when we watch a movie, we kind of have a decent like sense of our bullshit detector is like pretty good when it comes to these things. To quote Ethan Hawke's character in this movie, he apparently had a really good bullshit detector, and that's another thing. He gets a little butthurt with like some of these like beggar type people.
Yeah, the palm reader lady.
Yeah. And even the poetry guy,
Yeah.
he gets a little bit, yeah. What do you guys think of that? Like as it was happening?
I think I would be the same way, to be honest. And maybe it's just because
Okay.
I'm super pessimistic and super just what's the word? I'm just
Cynical. or-
cynical. Yes,
Yeah,
that I feel the same way. Like even if it were true,
yeah. Mm.
I don't give a fuck enough to pay for it.
I wouldn't have gave him the time of day, to be honest. I'm one of those people that will walk through the mall and like if someone's like trying to hand me a sample or like, basically try to sell me something I really don't need, walking straight by, I'm not making eye contact. I am not talking to you.
Yeah, somebody would probably try to hand me a $20 bill, and I would just keep walking. Honestly,
Here's literal money. It's like,
Nah, I'm
get
good.
away from me.
I don't want what you're selling.
There it is.
Yeah.
If you can't accept the $20 bills, how can you accept a conversation with a whole
Yeah.
total stranger from another country?
So-
I would have a conversation with somebody from another country, but
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know. The palm reader, probably not.
No,
The homeless guy that's going to write you a poem,
no.
I don't know. I'd probably talk to him.
I would probably do that.
Mm.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
At least you're getting something out of it. The
Yeah.
palm reading thing is bullshit.
I like how
Yeah.
he said that, like, if it doesn't add something to your life, you don't have to pay me for it.
Yeah,
Exactly. He says, "Give me whatever the feel." That incites some sort of trust there. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
But like I mean Ethan Hawke's here, he's even more cynical because he said like, oh, he probably had that poem ready to go and he just slid the word in. But
I don't like the poem.
I I thought it was cool. I don't remember much of it, but I remember it being like, oh, this is exactly what an artsy beggar would write.
I thought it was just gonna be like milkshake, milkshake, milkshake.
My milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard.
That's what I thought the poem was gonna be. It'd be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
That's so beautiful.
Brought a tear to my eye.
Oh man,
I like how he gives it to him. He gives him the thing,
yeah,
and then he's about to open it, and she rips it from his hand. Like, will you read it to us?
yeah.
And he's like-
That's super. I like that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Will you read it to us? And he just doesn't even look at it first.
yeah.
Doesn't get a glimpse of what it might be and how to read it.
Hmm.
He says, you know what? Instead of me reading this or even looking at it,
Yeah.
I'll read it from the perspective of the person writing it, rather than building my own.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I could find this thing.
Yeah, it's right here.
Daydream delusion. Limousine eyelash. Oh, baby, with your pretty face. Drop a tear in my wine glass. Look at those big eyes. See what you mean to me. Sweet cakes and milkshakes. I'm a delusion angel. I'm a fantasy parade. I want you to know what I think. Don't want you to guess anymore. You have no idea where I came from. We have no idea where we're going. Lodged in life, like branches in the river, flowing downstream, caught in the current. I carry you. You'll carry me. That's how it could be. Don't you know me? Don't you know me by now?
His delivery is pretty good.
Yeah.
His delivery is pretty good. You can't deny that.
I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah.
Delivery is one thing, but structure it, that's different.
So good that he might have done this once or twice.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Oof.
Bringing out the
Okay.
verdict on him.
All right. All right.
That's very true. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of, not panhandlers. What do you call them? Expedition, or what do you call them?
I just
Exhibitionists.
exhibition.
Do that kind of stuff.
Buskers, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, I mean, that is kind of what you're paying for. Paying
Ad
for the
lib.
performance. Yeah.
What's that? Mad Libs.
Mad Libs.
He's like, wait a second. Takes the notebook. What the hell is this? Mad Libs comes out. You're a fraud.
Give me an adjective now.
Oh
All
my
right,
god.
Now a noun.
Takes the mask off. Dr. Seuss. Oop.
One fish, two fish, bitch. One thing I did notice while I was watching that, like, I really love the way that they kind of steal glances at each other. Like when the other one's not looking, and like they kind of, those like little lovers glances or whatever. It's really cute. Actually, that reminds me of the recording room scene.
Yeah.
I think when I think of music in this movie, I think of that scene actually. It's just really, really, really adorable scene.
Yeah.
She mentions that feeling,
Yeah.
when they're in that little restaurant or bar, kind of, or cafe, whatever,
Uh-huh.
and then they're both pretending to call somebody they know,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and then when she mentions like I like to feel his gaze on me when I'm not looking.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly what you're thinking, because I've liked that. I know that feeling with Hannah. Sometimes she's staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's out of anger,
God damn
or
it.
out of like care, and then that somebody's staring at you.
Yeah,
If
I
you
feel
if you're
it.
aware that there's somebody's like always looking at you, when somebody's staring at you.
yeah.
It's the same way, and also could just be symbolic in the fact that she knows, doesn't
Mhm.
really feel it, but she just knows.
I also think that's like it's directly related to how good their chemistry is. Like, I mean, in real life, if someone's staring at you and you feel it, like 9 times out of 10, it's like, stop fucking looking at me. Like, why are you looking at me? But if you have a certain type of relationship with someone or a certain type of chemistry of someone and they're looking at you, it doesn't feel as invasive. It feels like almost it's like a warmth almost.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that Oh man, I've never felt more alone in my life than when I watched that scene. Like, when I watched that scene in the recording booth, and yeah,
Stop! Come on.
yeah. No, it's sad. It's sad, but that just means the movie's working on me.
Doing what it's designed to do.
Yes, its
I-
effect is very effective.
I love movies that like invoke an emotional response.
Yeah, it's what it's all about.
Like the last movie that I watched that actually made me feel something was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, it's the
Yeah,
millionth time I've mentioned that in this podcast, but it's just movies like that have something
yeah.
that hooks your brain, hooks your
Brain and heart.
heart
Yeah.
together to make you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's tears, or or just a lump in your throat,
Yeah.
or even just a feeling
Mm-hmm.
that you can't quite describe.
It's
That's
crazy when you haven't felt that feeling about a movie in a while, and then it pops up during a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh wait, I remember now. This is why I like movies.
This is where I cry.
Well, I think the last time we talked about it, I don't know if it was the last podcast or the podcast before that.
Yeah.
Because you guys were talking about The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't seen it yet. And I recently watched the 3rd episode of The Last of Us, and that made me feel
Yeah.
all sorts of like different ways.
I'm really glad you're watching it, by
It
the way.
destroyed me.
Oh, it was so good.
It's destructive episode.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it too.
It'll make or break you.
I think
It'll
the make or break moment is yet to come.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Did you
yet
see
to
this new
come.
episode?
I have seen the new episode. Yeah.
I didn't. I swear, I didn't expect them to actually go that route.
Oh really?
I didn't expect them to actually go that route.
Oh.
that soon.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean? Not that soon.
Yeah. We could talk about it like offline.
Yeah.
Later.
Anywho,
What
do you guys think that he actually got that bartender's address?
No, I was gonna talk about
Oh,
it.
okay.
He's like,
okay,
he's like, I'll tell you what, I'll get the address to the bar and I'll send you money. The guy hands him the bottle of wine.
yeah.
He
just walks away.
I didn't even say thank you.
Yeah.
Uh,
No email address, no phone number.
Well, that bartender probably like got the cheapest bottle of wine he could find.
Yeah.
It's one of those moments. It's like the love of my life's at the airport and I found me get her now. It's like that. It's like, see, I'm
okay.
with her only this today, and I need this bottle of wine so I could bang her.
What did he say? Here's your bottle of wine, and to the greatest night of your life. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. I really like how the camera kept going back to Julie Delpy's character, and like she's obviously stealing silverware, and like
It's a good ruse, though.
yeah.
Like, why would I point you to the person stealing from you?
Oh yeah.
You know, they're like, look at that person right over there. That's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's my wife. She's pregnant. I don't know. And they're like, why would you just assume that they're stealing after he's just pointing towards the person?
Yeah.
Stealing?
Yeah. That's part of that's the trick.
The Jedi mind trick. That's all it is. Because goddamn it, Jesse's character is a smooth talker.
He is.
He's good.
Yeah.
He got me. I would have gotten on the train with him.
I would have given him a bottle opener for the wine too.
Yeah, true.
Didn't even
Here's
think
my
about
social
that.
security number while you're at it.
How'd they open the wine?
I would have.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good
And why did they need glasses? They were gonna drink it in the park.
question.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. Hate to rain on everyone's parade, but
I mean, it's good for the
Cinema
scene.
Sins. Let's call up Cinema Sins right now.
Maybe it was definitely good for that shot at the end.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, where
It
they
would've-
leave it behind
like
and
empty
like
bottles
yeah.
is like shit. But empty bottle with the wine glasses looks nice and fancy.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. These litterers had class.
Exactly. We know they had enough money to pay for this, not steal it.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
'Cause they had the glasses, but they're too drunk to remember them. Fair enough.
What else can we talk about?
We can talk. Okay,
Yeah.
they're at that side barge restaurant, and they're talking about how they should just make this just one night. And it says, "Hey, I'll maybe we can come and see each other soon." And so, and then she says, "Let's be realistic here."
Oh
be
no,
adults.
this is when they were on the boat.
It was a boat. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I said barge. I thought it was
Yeah,
tied.
Oh, I think it
I'm-
said bar. You meant barge.
Yeah, I said
Okay,
barge.
sorry, my bad.
And boat, barge, whatever. And
Mhm.
they're talking about how, like, he wants to keep seeing it, and he knows that she does too. But she's like, let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
So let's think rationally, right? Like rational adults is what
Yeah.
she says.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're right. Just tonight, and we'll say and then we'll say goodbye in the morning. And says, I don't want to say goodbye in the morning. That'll make it awful. And it
Yeah.
says, well, let's say goodbye now. And then that reoccurring thing, well, not semi-reoccurring thing where he says,
Uh-huh.
she says, goodbye, au revoir, later. And
and then they.
say it again at the
I
end.
know. Yeah. That was
And
nice.
That's a good cap because after
was
that,
nice.
that's it. No words.
Yep.
Later.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Was the last thing they say.
I don't think it was nice. To be honest, it kind of made me cringe a little bit.
Think
Oh
so?
really?
Yeah. Like later, like, oh, ew, gross, dude.
That's just the '90s.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
know.
'90s, like hitting you hard.
Oh, I
That's-
know.
that's all that
Adios,
is.
amigo. Or hasta la vista.
For all we know, that's how they talked back then.
It was also really funny
For all we
when
know.
they're at the bar and they were pretending to call each other. And when it's like his turn to call his friend, she picks up and she's like, "What's up, dude?" Like a French accent. It's like, come on.
That's not how we say it. I say, what's up, fucker? What's up, bitch? Every guy has to insult another guy on the phone before.
I'm not gonna lie though, I
Conversation.
hated the scene when they were on the boat.
Really?
I hated it because it was stupid.
When they were sitting.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we should just make this one night thing.
Yeah.
Get her phone number, get his phone number. Jesus Christ. This looks like the best thing that's ever happened to you. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you being an idiot?
You know,
I
what's
would-
really funny? They actually bring that up in the next movie.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Do they have each other's phone number magically in the
I'm
next
not
movie?
gonna say, but the stupidness that with which you are referring to is brought up in the second.
Oh,
movie.
so they realize that they're being idiots.
I'm not gonna say
You could-
more than that.
Okay.
But
It's like they're in the 30s at this point.
but you have a
adults.
very valid point. And the movie also understands that it's a valid
Yeah,
point.
that pissed me off. I was mad after that. You guys are dumb.
And there's the
Yeah.
idea of like they talk about long distance doesn't work, and then they've already proclaimed they never proclaimed they love each other. By the way,
Mm.
they never once said that.
I think that's important.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They never mentioned it once because you know why? You didn't have to do that cliche thing when they mention it. They know it.
Yeah.
They show in their actions, and the fact is, you even just say that, even if you have these strong feelings for each other, it's also premature.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's completely irrelevant at that point,
Don't want to be the first person to say it.
Yeah.
and there's no reason to say it because then it just ruins your idea of what the word love means.
Yeah, I think it would cheapen not only like their emotions towards each other, but us like the entire movie. To be honest.
Yeah.
It would bring down the maturity of the movie.
Yeah.
I think if they did that. Really glad they didn't.
Yeah, the concept
Mhm.
of love, just like understand understand the concept of love, right? No, that's at Radio Future. Anyway, but
Yeah.
it'll cheapen it, like you said.
Yeah.
Not necessary, irrelevant, because you don't need to say it. People can make their own deductions from
Yeah.
watching it. The characters know it. The people watching it definitely know it.
Speaking of ambiguity, do you think they actually had sex?
Yes,
For sure.
I know that. You know why? Because the shirt underneath her
Yeah.
overalls was gone. She wasn't wearing it.
Oh,
Okay?
it was. She had it.
Yes.
Okay.
She had a shirt under, like a white shirt underneath, or a grayish shirt underneath it, and then she
Yeah.
also had the flannel.
Hmm.
But then again, when she, in that after scene when they're walking
Yeah.
before they start dancing to the what's it called, harpo.
Oh yeah, the harpsichord.
Harpsichord.
guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, she's just.
How
she
did they
has it on
think
her
of
shirt.
this shit? Just like, all right, and this part we're gonna have a harpsichord guy, and he's gonna be in a basement,
And he's gonna
and
play
then
it
we're
just
gonna
super averagely.
he's gonna be a super mediocre harpsichord song, but then they're gonna dance to it. Like, how do they fucking come up with this shit? Like, what the fuck?
I like how you say he wrote this from his own perspective. His own perspective.
Do you think
But in
in-
Philadelphia, it's like, nah, too
What are the
trashy.
chances there's a harpsichord player like playing in Philadelphia in
Zero.
a basement somewhere?
Negative 10.
Zero.
Negative 10.
No shot.
not in his
Hey, you know,
lifetime.
Philly's not that bad. Philly has some class, all right? have you guys even been to Philly?
No.
No, I have no desire to go there.
Yeah, I'm okay. I feel like instead of a harpsichord, it'd probably be like some like drunk dude stumbling out fucking like a pastrami sandwich in a back alley.
No, Philly cheesesteak. Philly cheesesteak.
Philly cheesesteak. There you go.
Yeah.
If Will Smith left because he got in one little fight and his mom got scared.
Oh my, that's West Philadelphia. There's other parts of
Oh,
Philadelphia.
Right.
There's not. It's just Philadelphia.
He was born and raised there, right?
Yeah, on the playgrounds where he spent most of his
Okay.
Thank you. Other than
Um,
that, I don't know what else to say about this movie. We
Yeah.
will say that all three of these movies
uh-huh.
of his Linklater's trilogy,
Yeah.
they all have either a 100% or 99%.
They're very highly regarded.
Before Sunrise, 100%, and that's actually what it is very rare for a movie to have.
Actually, Before Sunrise, I think the reason why it's 100%, if you look, there's not many reviews for it.
Mm.
Like they uploaded like reviews from like years ago, but no one has done more reviews on it. And honestly, a movie has a better chance of having a high score
With less reviews,
With
yeah.
less reviews. Like the
It's
more
just math.
the more people give their opinion, the more of the shitty opinions come out.
It's just math, yeah.
Yeah, that's just how it is. But you're right. It's still remarkable. 100% is still remarkable.
Yeah. When I looked it up, I Googled it so I could figure out where I could watch it at.
Yeah.
And like the third thing down is why is Before Sunrise so good? Well, may never know.
We're here to talk about that, and
Yeah.
I think we've explained that. I don't know what else to talk about, considering it is relatively short.
Yeah. I
and-
think the reason why it's hard to talk more about this movie is because most of the meat of the movie is them talking about deep philosophical shit, and like it's hard to get into that in like a podcast, because it's something you just sit down, watch, and like digest, but it's hard to, I guess, bring it out in conversation. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah, I think that's why it's so hard to talk about this movie, because I'm also struggling to think about what else to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
And considering
Yeah.
the two of us, I watched it again this morning
Yeah,
as well, like you. So two of us just watched it this morning, and it's still super fresh in my head.
yeah,
And I think we've explained it. We explained the purpose behind it. That there is
Yeah.
no purpose other than to show the two people who fall in love.
yeah,
You're not supposed to get anything out of it other than a feeling,
yeah.
and that's perfect.
That's exactly it. Like I'm left with a feeling when like the movie ends. I don't like think about like certain events that happened. I think about like their general chemistry.
Yeah.
But even that's hard to put into words. And like the simplicity of the plot doesn't help because it's super simple. There's not much to talk about. They walk around, they talk, and then they leave. I think other movies, they have more going on plot wise. Like, oh, somebody gets betrayed, or like somebody shoots somebody else, or like there's
Yeah.
other stuff happening. In this movie, there's not a lot happening, but there's a lot of things being felt and things being like understood without words. I think a lot of
Yeah.
that is going on. I think which is why a lot of people like this movie and a lot of people appreciate it for that.
There's not much to have to focus on.
Yeah, yeah.
You can just watch.
It's an easy watch.
It is an easy watch, and it's a quick one too. I can lastly say for myself
Yes.
at the end, because after this I'm done speaking about it.
Yeah.
Personally,
I will no longer
I-
speak on this subject again.
I feel bad for the those poor actors that they never got to see their show.
Oh, the cow
Oh,
guy
yeah.
and his
Bring me
buddy.
the horns of something's cow, Mister or
Wilmington's cow. I
Wilmington's
remember
cow.
Wilmington because that's a city in Delaware.
I'm Wilmington's cow.
Oh my god.
Do you speak German for a change? Oh, get him! Damn, that's why you're a dick. You're a dick immediately. You had about 40 years of being dick. Now German's gonna be. I mean, I guess they're Austrian, not German.
Same thing.
Same thing. True.
Same but different.
Same but different.
Yeah.
Some Austrian out there is going to be mad at us for saying that.
I think if they actually went to go see that play, it would have opened up to bring back characters that they didn't need to bring back. Like because they saw the play, they probably would have done something where they said hello to them again,
Oh,
which would have been stupid because they
yeah,
would have made a
you're
B
right.
story.
Yeah,
It would have an entire B story that you don't need.
Yeah.
You know?
we don't need recurring characters
Yeah.
in this kind of movie. Everyone's just like, see them, they're gone.
Yeah. And then
Which is really cool. So, I'm sorry, I
No,
cut you
it's
off,
fine.
but I really want to talk about. There's this one conversation they had about how people are transitory,
Oh.
and like people are ephemeral and all that stuff, and like they talk about time a lot in this movie. Like time is like a constant subject they talk about, which is really cool because like Before Sunrise is all about the fact that they don't have enough time with each other. Anyway, this theme of people not being around for long and your chance to enjoy them and experience them is like a one-time thing, and there's beauty in that. I think that's part of the reason why there are no recurring characters in this movie. Like they Celine and fucking
Jesse.
Jesse, they go through the city and they just meet all these different characters, never to see them again, to have a really good experience with all these people, and then they themselves depart, never to see each other again. So like this idea of like never seeing them again, but also enjoying them at the moment, that's a really cool theme, and it's I didn't realize it till you brought it up that like having the recurring character would take away from the movie.
Yeah.
'Cause it definitely would.
That's, I think, altogether thinking about that's a good point, right? That we to notice that for both
Yeah.
of us, all of us. And yeah, I mean, other than that, that's the movie, right? It's
Yeah.
from beginning to end. It's you have broad feelings for both characters,
Mhm.
and then you don't stop feeling them for next two movies.
Yeah.
It just maintains, and that's what I love about this trilogy. That I thank you for introducing me to.
Oh, yeah, you're very welcome. I'm just glad more people are watching this movie. And like these movies. They should be watched. They're very good. I'm ready to say my piece. Does anyone else? Anyone else want to say anything or?
Nothing else.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'm gonna start. I picked this movie because I love this movie, and the acting is literally seamless with my perception of reality. It didn't feel like acting to me. Maybe at a little bit in the beginning, it kind of felt actorly, but it felt very natural. And their chemistry is really, really, really iconic, I think. And the situation is really, really, really interesting. Like the whole like one night, one and done thing. There's definitely it almost enhances the romance of it. But I also really like the fact that it doesn't really get too cheesy. It doesn't go into like an overly dramatic route. It just feels very natural. And in terms of dialogue, it's so good. It's so good. It's so casual yet interesting. But casual and yet deep. So like I don't know how else to put it. I'm giving this a 9.5. At no point was I checking my phone. At no point was I like bored. I've watched this movie like 4 times now, and I don't hesitate watching it again, depending on the occasion. But yeah, 9.5 for me.
All right, Thomas.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start off with my score first. I'm also gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. Woke up this morning, had no expectation for this movie. Didn't watch a trailer, didn't watch anything about it, and I was completely captivated by it for the entire length of the movie. I didn't pull my phone out. I didn't do anything else. I thought it was great, and this is probably like every single man's dream.
Yeah.
Going to Europe and then falling in love with a girl that you meet on a train. So, yeah, that's all I really got to say about it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a romance film like this one before. And again, I think just the idea of doing this now is far-fetched, but getting past that, the movie is almost flawless. I thought the Hollywooded aspects of it, like I think the moments where the violinist came out when they were having dinner on that boat was a little cheesy. I think the harpsichord scene was a little cheesy. Other than that, there's not really anything wrong or bad about this movie. It's a 9 for me.
All right. Everything like every time I'm last, I'm gonna agree with everything you all said. One thing I won't agree with 100% is that one scene with the violins. That boat cheesy. It was cheesy, but what made it better was the fact that they weren't the center of attention there. They weren't the table that those violins went to.
Oh yeah, that's
They were just they're viewing from afar.
Yeah.
And they're just they're enjoying
Observers.
observing it. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of movies they'll do that and be like, "Oh, we're the one." They come to us. Everyone's like clapping at us and like whatever. No, they're just watching it, and it's just an observation.
I think I
Which is
don't know. They're watching the violinist come to a table that, you know, is in
Yeah.
love.
I kind of get what you're saying, because there is that sense of like contrivance, like this, like it doesn't feel as organic as maybe of the other stuff that happens in this movie.
Yeah.
I honestly I didn't really notice.
I know
notice
I
too
know
much. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but for that I'm gonna give it also a 9.5. And I want there to be more, but I want to give it more, but I think there are some parts that it is essentially flawless.
The reason why I hesitate to give it more than that is I think I don't know. I just don't like giving 10s. The idea of a 10 doesn't really I don't know, yeah, that's kind of what my thought is.
The only movie I gave a 10 was Everything. Everywhere. Anyway, but that gives us an overall 9.3
Yes.
on the Burno
9.3.
Flickometer.
9.3 thumbs up.
9.3 thumbs out of the 8 that are in this room.
Yeah.
I'll bring out my toes. I kind of look like thumbs.
Please don't.
Yeah. All right, so Zach is the guy. Is Zach the guy?
I am the guy.
You are the guy.
Unless if Thomas wants to do this again.
Nope,
Choose one.
it's all you.
All right, so the movie I'm choosing was an old film directed by a Mr. Marty Scorsese.
Oh, Marty.
This movie is the king of comedy.
I haven't seen this. I know Christopher Walken's in it, right?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
No, Christopher Walken, is he in it?
Okay, maybe not.
No, he's not in. So Christopher Walken. This is a Robert De Niro movie.
Oh, what the?
De Niro plays a man named Rupert Pupkin.
Mhm.
The movie is about Rupert Pupkin, otherwise known as Robert De Niro, is a failure in life, but a celebrity in his own mind. Hosting an imaginary talk show in his mother's basement when he meets actual talk show host Jerry Langford, played by Jerry Lewis. He's convinced it will provide his big break, but Langford isn't interested in the would-be comedian. Undaunted, Pupkin effectively stalks Langford, and when that doesn't work, he kidnaps him, offering his release in exchange for a guest spot on Langford's show.
Oh.
This is the movie that inspired the Joker,
Yeah,
correct? Yeah.
Yep. Because Robert De Niro played the same character,
Interesting.
essentially.
Okay. And you know that's
And his name was Jerry.
and yeah, okay, yeah. All right. I think that's it.
That's it.
Thanks for being with us. Have a good
Have a good Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Happy
I
Valentine's
was
Day.
wondering what to say.
V-Day. Yeah.
Flick